day one of free agency and the Spurs are already cooking. Their first move? Luke freaking Kornet, the Celtics' former backup big, signed on a 4-year, $41 million deal. Some say the last year's a team option. Not fully confirmed yet, but either way, that's the deal. My first reaction? Honestly, pretty solid. This was a must-fill spot for San Antonio. They desperately needed a reliable backup big. After drafting Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant, the Spurs' depth chart looked like this. They had plenty of guards, wings too. But in the front court, it was basically just Wemby, Sohan, and Charles Bassey, who's always injured and technically no longer under contract. It's still unclear if the Spurs even plan to bring him back. Honestly, I actually thought they might go young. Maybe use that second-round pick on a big man, someone like Wemby's chess bro Maxime Reynaud. But nah. They traded the pick before the draft and made it pretty clear. They were gonna go the veteran route. And this year's free agent market had options. Besides Kornet, there were names like Al Horford, Brook Lopez, Mo Wagner, Clint Capella. Then, right before free agency opened, Portland bought out the 2018 first pick DeAndre Ayton, so suddenly he was on the board too. Once that happened, the rumors started flying. But when you really think about it, Kornet might have been the cleanest fit out of all of them. Horford and Lopez, great players, tons of experience, but they're both almost 40. That's a short-term play at best. Capella's game has been trending downward for a while now. And Ayton, sure, 9 out of 10 NBA fans will tell you he's the better player, and they're probably right on pure talent. But I just didn't want him on this team. Lazy, frustrated, overconfident, always blaming everyone else. That's a tough personality fit for a young team trying to build something. Could have been a time bomb in that locker room, and I never really believed the Spurs would seriously consider him. Kornet, though, he's the opposite. Low-maintenance guy, smart, hardworking, never complains. He's a champ, knows how to play his role, doesn't need the spotlight. Still just 29 too, not some washed-up vet. I've seen some Spurs fans grumble about the price tag, like $10 million a year for a bench big? Fine, everyone's allowed their opinion. But let's not box him in with basic box score stats like points and rebounds. He didn't start, sure, but the guy was a rotation lock for the defending champs. Every advanced stat shows Boston got better when he was on the floor, and he made every minute count. If you haven't been watching Boston closely the past couple seasons, here's the truth. This guy is way better than you think. So what exactly is Luke bringing to the table? Defense, legit defense. He's one of the best rim protectors in the league, even in limited minutes. And here's the underrated part. He can actually switch a little. Not saying he's locking up Kyrie one-on-one, let's not get crazy. But against your average power forward, small and sometimes even smaller wings, he's quick enough, long enough, smart enough to stay in front. And he's a rebounding machine, and it's something the Spurs seriously lacked all year. Anytime Wemby or Sohan sat, team got crushed on the boards. Luke doesn't just help, he solves that. Both ends. Defensive glass, offensive boards, second chance points, all of it. He fills that hole. Add in his help defense, paint coverage, and let's not forget his signature move, the famous Kornet Kontest. That goofy closeout where he jumps even when he's nowhere near the shooter. It sounds dumb, but it actually somehow works. Legit mental damage. So the defense is no question. It's elite, but what about offense? In earlier seasons, he tried to space the floor more, shoot from deep. But lately, he's embraced a simpler, tighter role. And he's been really efficient in it. He's not a guy you give the ball to and expect to go make a play or throw a flashy pass. That's not him. Luke is a connector. He keeps the ball moving, sets good screens, does all the dirty work that doesn't show up in highlights. It doesn't sound sexy, but his true shooting numbers are elite. And players like that win games. They don't chase highlight clips, they help you win playoff series. So what do I think his role will be in San Antonio? First, obviously, backup minutes behind Wemby. That's a given. But here's something I noticed. Luke might actually be one of the most similar players in the league to Victor in terms of archetype. Maybe only Holmgren is more Wemby-like. What I mean is, a true 7-footer, smart, quick feet, able to step out and guard on the perimeter, not just anchor the paint. And because of that, I wouldn't be surprised if he shares the floor with Wemby at times too. It might look awkward at first, but they're both quick enough to make it work. In certain matchups, that size could be a real problem for opponents. Plus, now Spurs have more options. Think about a team like Houston throwing Şengün and Steven Adams out there. With just Wemby and Sohan, that used to be a nightmare matchup. But now, Vic and Luke might actually hold their own on the glass and be quicker up and down the floor. So the bottom line, I really like this signing. Spurs plugged a hole, added a guy who fits the culture. It makes the Spurs deeper and more flexible. Maybe it's not that flashy, but definitely makes the team better. And about the money, $10 million a year, that's fine. Market rate for a solid backup center. If you think that's overpaying, you probably haven't looked at NBA payrolls lately. You don't get stars for $10 million anymore. He's 29, right in his prime, and I don't think he's going to decline anytime soon. His game's based more on IQ than athleticism. He'll age just fine. Sum it up, this signing's an A+. Perfect roster fit. So, is this the last move of the Spurs offseason? Maybe not. There's some noise around another big man. French forward Guerschon Yabusele. He's coming off a cheap deal in Philly and hit the free agent market hoping for more than the $2 million he made last year. The Spurs still have about $5 million in cap space left, so it's possible. The big question, is that enough? And will anyone else offer him more? Yabusele is 29 now, and I get the feeling he's chasing a real contract. Not just a one-year stop, something secure. I'm sure he'd love to play with Wemby and be part of that French connection in San Antonio. But he also flamed out of the NBA before, bounced around Europe, and now wants some long-term stability. It's pretty understandable. Will the Spurs be the team to give it to him? We'll see really soon.